Isla Sorna, an island found 207 miles off the coast of Costa Rica, was an island once owned by a mighty company called International Genetic Technologies. Hey guys, it's Dino month, and this year I'm going to be doing a series. We're going to be going over the island Isla Sorna. Now these are going to be longer videos, so I hope you guys enjoy them. Leave a like, comment, and all that good stuff, because this has taken me a good month to research and record. I'm going to be teaching you guys about the history of Isla Sorna, when InGen bought it, the flora, the fauna. I'm going to try and cover as much as I can. But today's video is just going to be an introduction into Isla Sorna, how InGen bought it, what InGen had planned for it, and the soft canon on, the events that led up to Jurassic Park. Isla Sorna was a single island in an archipelago of 5 other islands known as the 5 Deaths. We have Isla Matanceros, Isla Muerta, Isla Sorna, Isla Decano, and then Isla Pena. These 5 islands were very important for the Aztec people in the Jurassic canon, because it was a tale that was kind of spread through the Aztec culture, that there was a hero who was put to death 5 different times on each of the islands. And each island is named after the form of execution this hero went through. We have burnt to death, drowned, hanged, crushed, and then finally head chopped off. And to this day, you can still see the ruins of this Aztec empire on all 5 of the islands, especially on Isla Sorna. And for centuries, the native people of Costa Rica and Central America as a whole would avoid this island chain due to the fact of these tales. They believed that these islands were bad omens and going there would curse you. But in 1982, a large genetic company, International Genetic Technologies, or otherwise known as InGen, purchased the island alongside another island called Isla Nublar. John Hammond, the owner of InGen, did not heed these tales and thought them of just superstition, and then proceeded to purchase the island so that he could create a kind of factory ground for his big dream, Jurassic Park. Now, Isla Sorna, being the largest of the 5 islands, was perfect for this factory ground, because John Hammond could take all of his, genetic equipment and put it onto Isla Sorna, never turning it into a resort, so he has more space to create his dinosaurs. Dr. Hammond never had intentions on ever turning Isla Sorna into sort of a resort or any sort of vacation destination. He really only wanted to use it as a factory floor and keep it hidden from the public, only ever mentioning once in soft canon that he had plans on maybe building a hotel there for visiting scientists or politicians. But Isla Sorna faced a lot of turmoil, even long before the events of Jurassic Park. John was not a very smart person at the end of the day, and he would actually let the dinosaurs roam free as juveniles across the island, waiting for them to reach a form of maturity so that they could be tranquilized and shipped off to Isla Nublar for his resort, Jurassic Park. But once InGen had fully constructed most of their buildings, they immediately got to work on the genetic materials that they were finding in amber, with the lead geneticist, Dr. Henry Wu, leading the front. And even now, it is not sunshines and rainbows. John Hammond and Dr. Wu experienced a lot of hardships during these times trying to gather the material. Not only trying to get the material from fossil sites, but also trying to find the DNA. This was a lot more difficult than John had originally imagined in his head, which was, oh, we can just find the genetic material in the mosquitoes and the amber. And we now know that John Hammond did not just use the amber DNA to construct the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park. He used the combinations of the insects in amber as well as DNA found in bone fragments. But even this was not enough to create a genetically perfect dinosaur. So, Dr. Henry Wu devised a plan of using similar animals like amphibians, other reptiles, and birds to complete the genomes. Hammond was on a time crunch. He had promised his investors within a 10-year period that he would open Jurassic Park, and therefore he put Henry on a time crunch. And we know what happens when you put things on a time crunch. Well, due to this cheat code that Henry had devised, a lot of the animals did not turn out the way that Dr. Wu nor John Hammond had intended at first. But they also, at the time, could not tell that these genetically hybrided animals were not true dinosaurs. But soon, the first animal was cloned. They were finally able to get the DNA, and they were finally able to replicate it and put it into an artificial oval, a Triceratops. And they released the Triceratops into the wilds of Isla Sorna and let it grow into maturity and studied it for the most part to determine whether or not it was safe to put onto Jurassic Park. But Dr. Wu was not the only person there on the island along with John Hammond. There was a slew of InGen workers who lived there. The construction workers, the other geneticists, and even InGen's technological team were there. Ray Arnold, Dennis Nedry, and even Robert Muldoon. Now, there were a plethora of animals that were bred on Isla Sorna and were later meant to transfer to Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar. We have 5 baryonyx, 10 brachiosaurus, 2 carnotaurus, 12 dilophosaurus, 4 edmontosaurus, 20 gallimimus, 4 mamenchisaurus, 22 microceratus, 9 pachycephalosaurus, 13 parasaurolophus, 10 pteranodon, 11 stegosaurus, 10 triceratops, 7 tyrannosaurus rexes, 18 velociraptors, and 43 compsognathus. Holy crap, that is a lot of animals on one island. It is a large island, so it could probably hold most of these animals, but still, that is a lot of animals to keep on one single island. Well, we now know how this song and dance goes. In 1992, the incident with Joffrey happened, and the investors got nervous with how safe the park was. So, they had John Hammond open the park for a few guests, a few preliminary people, to sign off on the park. And, well, it didn't go well. People died, lawsuits were made, and InGen was put into Chapter 11, aka they had to start filing for bankruptcy. But John knew that there was another island out there with dinosaurs that he could use to build Jurassic Park again. Until 1994, where Isla Sorna was struck by Hurricane Clarissa. InGen was forced to evacuate the island, and the animals were left to their own devices, creating a sort of lost world. But there's just a little bit of the history of Isla Sorna, the beginning history of Isla Sorna. Come back next Wednesday, where we are going to be covering more about what happens after InGen left Isla Sorna in 1994. Starting in 1997, where InGen decided that the dinosaurs on that island was still their property, and the chaos and destruction that was left in its wake.